Hello again. About a week ago, I came out with a video called Bait versus Barriers, where I talked about the challenges that a lot of youth ministries, churches, teen centers, youth groups are having with getting kids to show up today. And in that video, I talked about how do we get kids to show up? And I said the problem's not the bait, it's the barriers. There are barriers that are keeping kids from getting to us, and we need to find a way to bridge those gaps from where we are to where the kids are. Now, if you haven't watched that video, I'll put a link at the end of this video so you can watch it. But today, I want to talk a little more about why kids aren't showing up. I think this is very important to address, because if we understand the why, then it helps us understand the answer better. Today, I'm going to sip on my mocha and tell you some stories. Here we go. For those of you that don't know my history, I ran the Youth Venture Teen Centers at my church for over 10 years, and I worked in the ministry for over 20 years. I know, how is it possible I could be that old when I look so young? But it's the truth. I'm actually really old. Don't tell anybody. And back in the day, that was an old man impersonation if you didn't know. Back in the day, we had no problems getting kids to show up. We would take kids on all kinds of trips, theme park trips overnight, beach camping. And our only problem back then was that we didn't have enough space. We had too many kids that wanted to come. You know, kids used to be adventurous and curious. And I think that's natural in the heart of a kid that want to explore and adventure and see new things and experience life. At a certain point, we began to notice things change. Suddenly, kids weren't adventurous as they used to be. They were still showing up, but they wouldn't want to go on our trips. They wouldn't want to do anything that was unfamiliar to them. They would show up at the teen centers and travel around town and have fun. But when we'd offer to take them to a theme park, to take them camping, to take them to something like that, a lot less kids would want to go. And obviously today, it seems like that problem has just gotten worse. I don't think we're experiencing a new problem. This is the same trend that we've been seeing for a lot of years now. Just now, it is so much more heightened than it used to be. A few years back, it was just that kids didn't want to leave their neighborhood, where now it's kids don't even want to leave their homes. The sphere, the bubble that kids feel comfortable in has become so much smaller. The anxiety is so much greater. The unwillingness to adventure and explore and try new things is so much more. Today, I want to talk about just one reason why I think this is. I think one of the biggest contributing factors to this problem is the advent of social media and technology as it relates to social interaction, including even text messaging. How many of you guys are as old as me and you can remember when text messaging first came out? I remember that. I'm an old man. I remember how amazing it was that you could just type on your phone and send a message to another human being. That was like revolutionary. I remember people that were older than me back then and me teaching them how to use text messaging and them being just shocked that there were messages on their phone from people they didn't even know were there. So that was late 90s, early 2000s, text messaging began to blow up. And then shortly after, we all know what happened in 2006, Facebook went public or opened up to the general public. That was really the beginning of social media. I feel like it's a pretty well-established understanding that social media might be the worst thing that's ever happened to young people in our nation's history. There are some people that have done some great work talking about this issue and bringing light to them. One of them is Jonathan Haidt, Haidt. He has a blog, a newsletter called After Babel, and him and some other guys have really been working on researching and looking into the research on the impact of social media on kids' lives, their mental health, their social abilities. There's also a YouTube video that I found years back that I thought was very insightful called The Innovation of Loneliness. I think you can find it on YouTube. If I can find it, I'll link it below. And basically what we found is that social media has severely damaged kids' ability to interact socially, It has massively heightened anxiety, depression rates. It's greatly damaged the young people of our country. And there's a lot of reasons why that is. One reason is that on social media, you are always comparing the worst parts of your life to the best parts of everyone else's lives. And not even just the best parts, because so much of it is just completely and totally phony. And so now kids are consumed, young people are consumed with crafting an image of who they are and what their life is like. And they measure success by how many likes they get, how many followers they have, and they're obsessed with their image like never before. Another problem with social media is how it's damaged people's ability to have conversation, to interact with other human beings in real time. I've known young people that I literally could not have a meaningful conversation with in person. It was too difficult for them. They would just clam up, but yet over messaging, over social media, they would open up and say all kinds of things that they wouldn't say in person. And this is the problem, that in text message, on social media, everything is edited. You get to think about what you want to say, carefully craft it. You make sure that you get to express it in the way that you want to be viewed the way that you want to be viewed. The problem is that that's not what real life and real conversation is like. It happens in real time. We make mistakes, we say stupid things, and we don't have the ability to edit. We don't have the ability to put on this facade of who we want to be and how we want to appear to be. We just are who we are. And social media and even text messaging has really damaged a young person's ability to be vulnerable and to be real. We don't know how to have relationships anymore. We don't know how to have conversations anymore. We've lost sense of intimacy. In that video, The Innovation of Loneliness, they talk about how we're the most connected generation that has ever been, and yet at the same time, we're the most lonely generation that's ever been. Social media is fake community. It's fake connection. It's not real, and it doesn't meet our real needs for community. So I don't think that's the entire problem, but I think it's a significant contributing factor to this problem of kids not wanting to venture out beyond what's comfortable to them. They view their whole world through the lens of social media, and what they're viewing is a lie. And then in 2020, something terrible happened, the outbreak of COVID. One thing obviously very clearly happened is that kids were locked down, schools were shut, they were cut off from a large majority of their relationships and their social interaction, and they were fed a lot of fear. And so all healthy forms of social interaction and community were lost, and the only thing they had was social media. And so what I think that did is took the problem that we had already seen growing slowly for years and years and years and just heightened it to a level we'd never seen before. So now we have a generation of kids with deeper identity issues, deeper anxiety, deeper fear, deeper confusion than ever before. And at the same time, they're more isolated and lonely and scared than ever before. Now, I don't think this is the only problem and the only reason why we're having a hard time getting kids to show up, but I think this is one of the bigger ones. I think that it's really important that those of us who want to reach and help the young people of our communities take this seriously and really look at this problem. So I hope that helps you. I hope it's encouraging to you. I hope it helps you understand a little bit better what's going on with the young people of our communities. I would love to hear your thoughts. I might be totally wrong. If you think I'm wrong, please tell me. Leave it down in the comments. But also, to be serious, I want to hear your thoughts of what you think is going on. What successes have you had in reaching young people? What struggles have you had? And if there is any way that I can help you and serve you in your work to reach young people, please reach out. Let me know. I'd love to talk, and I would love to help you build family with the hurting young people of your community. God bless you guys.